Hi guys, my name is Lauren and I used to be very bad at keeping my house clean. And if you don't believe me, you can go back and watch any of my old cleaning videos, specifically around the years of 2019, 2020. I was a new mom and honestly, I just owned too much stuff. I was overwhelmed and I didn't know where to start. But slowly over the past couple years, I've gone through and decluttered tons of areas around my house and it has made such a big difference. So if you've been feeling overwhelmed with the clutter recently, you are not alone. You are in the right spot. What I want you to do is go grab a cup of coffee and you're gonna hang out with me today while I do some decluttering around my house and also share my favorite tips to make decluttering easier and faster. Okay, so I'm gonna start by making a list of all the areas that have just been in the back of my mind that I wanted to declutter, kind of brain dump it onto the page so that I'm not constantly thinking about it. However, I'm not gonna make myself declutter all of these areas today. I'm not gonna tell myself that all of this has to get done. However, it's nice to have it on the paper instead of in my brain, and that way, anytime I have some extra time to do stuff around the house, I can reference this list and think, oh, you know what? I could go declutter this one drawer right now or work on this closet or anything like that. Like I said, decluttering can feel huge and overwhelming and like you don't know where to start, but the trick is that you don't have to do it all at once. This has taken me a couple years to slowly go through my house. I've done a little bit in each video, like 1 month apart each time, but slowly and surely it has made my house feel way less overwhelming and way easier to manage and keep clean. So starting off in the kitchen, I did want to tidy up really fast because I'm gonna need this island to be clean because one of the areas I'm gonna be decluttering today is the island drawers. Now, I have been putting these off forever because all of the drawers and all of the cabinets in this kitchen are horrible. I mean, our Tupperware cabinet is just, it is so bad. But I'm constantly telling myself, okay, I need to declutter the kitchen, but I'll do that at a later date, which brings me to my first tip, which is start small. So there's been so many times where I'm just thinking in an all or nothing mindset, like, wow, the kitchen is so cluttered, I need to declutter it, but I don't have time for that right now. Because that is a huge project, right? But if you tell yourself, okay, I'm just gonna do the 2 drawers right here today, or I'm just gonna do 1 cabinet, or I'm gonna do 1 junk drawer, that makes it so much less overwhelming, and a win is a win, and that one little victory will give you the momentum to keep going and keep decluttering, and I feel like that is my biggest tip. One of my biggest tips is to start small. So I decided that the easiest way to go about this would just be to take everything out of the drawers because these drawers were nasty. There was so many crumbs in the drawers. So I decided to put everything on the countertop and that way I could go through and kind of put them into sections, what I wanted to keep, what I didn't want to keep. I could see everything and see if I had duplicates, or it just made the process a lot easier to take everything out, clean the drawer, and then put it back in. Now, I know sometimes with decluttering, the hardest part is getting started. So I have ADHD, and something I've learned is that there's something called ADHD paralysis, and it just makes starting tasks feel impossible. But I know that even if you don't have ADHD, the hardest part is always getting started. So this brings me to, I think, my absolute favorite tip, the thing that has helped me the most, not only with decluttering, but also with cleaning, is to set a timer. Now, you might be thinking that I'm talking about a 30-minute timer or an hour timer, and I am not. I'm talking about a 5-minute timer. That is it. It needs to be as least committal as possible, something that does not seem like a big deal. Like, okay, I will start a timer for 5 minutes. I will go do the dishes for 5 minutes and then I can come back to rotting on the couch. Or I'm gonna work on decluttering my closet for 5 minutes and that's it. That's all I'm doing today, 5 minutes. Start that timer and just begin, and it's a lot easier when it doesn't seem like as big of a task. However, I've noticed that most of the time, if not every single time I do this, I end up completing the task or going for like 30 minutes or an hour. It's just the getting started. You almost have to trick your brain into thinking it's not a big deal. So that is my absolute favorite tip. Definitely give it a try. I've seen so many people where they say, you know, just do 30 minutes of cleaning or an hour, and it just never worked for me. And then once I really brought it down to the bare minimum, it started to help. So as you can see, there was a lot to get rid of, a lot of random blender pieces, which I have had the same blender forever, so I'm not really sure where these blender pieces came from. They must have been brought over from house to house or something. And I also had a broken spatula, a broken whisk, tons of pieces of random water bottles that I didn't need anymore. So most of the items that I pulled out today were actually trash. You'll notice I did keep quite a few spatulas. That's because most of them were Christmas ones, and I do decorate with those during Christmas time. Like, I kind of display them. But the ones that I actually use to cook most of the time, I only kept 2. Okay, so now really quick, we're gonna move on to putting away all of the fall decor that I didn't use this year. So I actually decluttered my fall bins last year. I have the video, so I'll link it down below. And so it made decorating so much easier this year, but I will say I wasn't really as in the fall decorating mood this year, so I didn't put a ton out, and all of these items have just been sitting on my kitchen table. So I wanted to go ahead and get those put away in the correct bins before we move on to more decluttering. Now, as I was in the middle of putting away all of the fall decor that I did not use this year, I wanted to go ahead and hang up my outdoor Halloween decorations because I feel like it's almost October, it's time. So if you guys have been here for a little bit, you might remember that last year I had this giant spiderweb light outside. It was so cool. We got so many compliments on it. My mom ended up getting one. She loved it so much. I'll put like an overlay here so you can see it was like the coolest thing. Well, I also have a smaller version of it. I wanted one for the other side of the house for the window to kind of balance it out. So I got the smaller one this year. It's from the same brand. It is the brand Olney, and they are kind enough to sponsor today's video. So the spiderweb that I got is a 4-foot light up spiderweb. This thing is so affordable. I just looked online right now and it is $10. And it comes with the web, but then the web also has a spider on it that you can put in any spot that you want. And it has these little hooks right here so you can easily hang it up with command hooks or nails, zip ties, whatever works for the area you're hanging it up in. And the spider web has 70 LED orange and purple lights, and I love that it's battery powered. I actually forgot it was battery powered at first, and when I was hanging it up, I was like, oh no, I don't know if there's an outlet close enough. Maybe I'll have to put it on another window. And then I remembered it's battery powered. So it makes it so much more convenient. All you need is 3 AA batteries, and obviously you can hang this up inside, but it's also waterproof. So I decided to put mine outside, and these lights look amazing at night. And something I really love about it is it has a built-in timer function. So you can set it to automatically stay on for about 6 hours and then off for 18. That way you don't have to go outside every night and like turn them off or remember to turn them on. And the best part is they have 8 different lighting modes. So there's combination, in waves, sequential, slow go, chasing flash, slow fade, twinkle flash, and steady on. And all you do is you press the button on the battery pack to change between modes. So like I said, we had the bigger spider web from Olney last year. It held up so well. We absolutely loved it. I'm definitely gonna hang it up again this year. I just need my husband to be home for me to do it because I need a ladder for that one. That one is a big guy. But I also really love this smaller version that I got for this year. So if you guys are interested, I will have it linked down below. It's perfect for Halloween or for a Halloween party. They also have lights for different seasons, like ones for Christmas. So make sure you check them out. And thank you so much to Olney for sponsoring today's video. Now moving back into the decluttering, as I was going through these bins, I noticed, okay, I have so much random decor around the house that I moved out of their regular spots to put fall decor in, if that makes sense. So my everyday decor, like vases and florals that I have out every day, but I move for the fall and the winter time, for some reason, they just never have a home. A lot of the times when I'm filming fall videos or Christmas videos, I'm rushing, I'm filming, so I'm just taking the old decor and like shoving it in closets or under the entryway table or in the pantry. So I wanted to go ahead and have a bin where all of it was, and that way once Christmas is over and I go to put out my everyday decor, I can have it all in one spot. So I did have to collect this from all around the house. There was just little piles of random decor everywhere. Now, another decluttering tip I have is the would I buy it test. And I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's pretty simple. It's basically, would I purchase this item again? And if the answer is no, then you can probably get rid of it. However, I have an even more intense version, which if you are a parent, you will understand this. So as most of you know, babies and toddlers usually have potty and diaper accidents on themselves and on items of clothing. And sometimes, you get poop on an item and you just throw it away, and sometimes you're in the laundry room scrubbing it out because you love that dress that your Meemaw passed down. So that is what brings us to the poop test, and that is where you think to yourself, if poop got on this item, would I throw it away or would I keep it? Would I clean this off and keep it, or would I throw it away? Because most items I would just throw away, and that has been very helpful for me to think about when deciding if I'm going to get rid of something or keep it. Now, obviously, a kind of, common sense tip is if you want to be more successful at decluttering, everything needs to have a home, which means you need a lot of storage space, which means when picking out furniture or things around your house to always have that in mind. For instance, this piece of furniture right here in the room, I was not thinking that when I bought this. I got it off Facebook Marketplace a few years ago. I've never loved it, but it's horrible for storage space. It just takes up space, but I can't put anything in it. I can't even put baskets underneath it because of that little bar. So I want to go ahead and try and sell this on Facebook Marketplace and maybe buy something that I can utilize a little bit better and that, I don't know, will work for me a little bit more. So I'm thinking maybe some cabinets and I can put baskets in them or something like that. So I was going ahead and cleaning this and staging it for Facebook Marketplace pictures. That is a tip I have if you're ever trying to sell something on Facebook Marketplace, is to stage your pictures. Decorate it a little bit, take some things off your coffee table and move it onto the item and take some pictures. I know for me, sometimes I'm so drawn to a piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace, but really it's like the decor style that I love. So that's a great way to get your items noticed faster and sell faster. Now we are moving on to this hall closet downstairs, and I never open this hall closet. I open it maybe once every 2 years. I didn't even know what was in here, which brings me to my next tip, which is the 1 year rule. So if there is an item which you have not used in 1 year, or say you haven't even seen it in 1 year, it's probably okay to get rid of. So for instance, when I was going through this closet, there are some puzzles in here, and I think I have moved these along from house to house, like multiple different houses. I've never used them. They're not even opened. At this point, I have not used them in like the 4 years, so I think it's just time to part with it. And I was thinking to myself, wow, if everything had magically poofed away in this closet yesterday, and the next time I opened it, everything was gone, I wouldn't miss a thing because I had no idea what was in here. So clearly I don't need any of this. So I did a really good job decluttering this closet. I did keep light bulbs. We had a lot of light bulbs in here, but I'm not sure what fixtures they go to around the house, so I did keep those. And I also kept the fire alarms. I have a lot of fire detectors around my house. I feel like maybe once or twice a year I go through a stage where I get really passionate about fire safety. I think it's like part of my anxiety, but my algorithm feeds me fire safety stuff, and then I always buy more smoke detectors and hang more up, and I just have a lot now. So I also have a collection in this closet. So just by going through that closet and the little table, I filled up 2 trash bags. That was so much more than I was expecting. There was so much stuff shoved in that little hall closet, and it just feels so good to get rid of it. And because of that, there's multiple shelves now in that closet that are completely empty, which is awesome, because then in the future, if I need to find a home for something, if something's out of place and I'm like, I don't really know where to put this, I do have that hall closet. It has empty shelves, but it's okay to also have empty shelves. I think I used to always try to organize every space and be like, well, let me put a basket in here and I can put these in here or this in here. It's okay just to have empty space with nothing there. So I'm very pleased with how the hall closet turned out. Now we are moving into one of my son's rooms, and I'm decluttering their closets constantly. They just grow so fast. But I was going through and pulling some for a consignment sale that I was going to sell some of his clothes at. But I have another tip that I was thinking about because I was in the closet. It doesn't really apply to kids' closets, but it's a good tip to have for yourself. And it's something I learned recently, and it's flip the hanger around. So when you're going through and decluttering your clothes, if there's, say, a few sweaters or shirts that you're like, man, I haven't worn these in a while, but I don't want to get rid of them, flip the hanger around so it's facing the opposite way that none of your hangers ever face, and leave it like that. And then in a few months, when you go back and declutter again, if those clothes are still sitting backwards on those hangers, then you have not worn them since the last time you decluttered, and it's probably time to get rid of them. I actually did that recently, and then even after like a couple weeks of seeing them backwards, I was like, what am I doing? I'm never gonna wear that sweater, and I got rid of it. So it just makes it a little bit easier for you to be like, yeah, I don't actually need that. I'm never gonna wear that. Something that I've struggled with a few times when cleaning out my son's closet is he has these random clothes that he would never wear, but there's always like a random spirit day at school or something where he might need a neon shirt or like a random sports jersey or things that he wouldn't normally wear. So I found this little bin. I actually found it at Hobby Lobby. It was only a couple dollars. It was on clearance. I titled it Random Jerseys and threw all the random jerseys that he never wears in there, and that way we know where they are. If either of my kids have like a spirit week or a sports day that they need something, they're up there, but it's not taking up actual space in his closet anymore. Okay, so this is what I've got going on so far. I've got all of the shirts that I'm planning on hopefully selling, and I think I've got some pants and some pajamas. Okay, so what I'm doing, I thought it would be fun to show you guys because I feel like it's pretty interesting. So I'm prepping all these clothes for a consignment sale. I've been really into consignment sale shopping recently for the kids' clothes. So my friend Jamie a couple months ago invited me to go to one because she loves doing them. She always sells at them, and then she buys her son's new clothes at them. So I went with her. It was like you paid $10 for a ticket, and then you can go in and you just shop the sale. And let me tell you, it was amazing. I found both of my kids so many back to school clothes, and they were like Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, and they all were in such good condition. Like you could not tell that they were pre-owned. Some things would be new with tags. I'll put a picture on the screen. I got my 4-year-old this pair of Under Armour shoes for $10. I got my son this pair of Nike shoes for I think $15. But all of the clothes were like $4 a shirt. Some of my younger son's clothes were like $2.50 a shirt, $3 a shirt, and they were in such good condition, like no holes, no stains, smelled good, like freshly laundered. And so anyways, my friend, she was like, I always sell at these too, because then, you know, you clear out your kids' closets, you pick out all the clothes that don't fit them anymore, you sell it at that consignment sale, and then you can also shop the consignment sale and get their next batch of clothes, and then you're kind of making money and using that money, and you know, it just helps with clothing costs. If you have kids, you know it can be expensive. So this is my first time selling at a consignment sale, and I thought that it would be something fun or interesting to watch because there's a lot of steps to it. So obviously a newer tip to me is selling at consignment sales. And guys, when I went to this consignment sale, I was blown away. People were selling children's clothes and home decor, sporting equipment, seasonal decor. It was amazing. I ended up making, I think, like $120, which was great because I was going to donate these anyways. But two of my friends made like $300 each. And it's just a simple way to get things out of your house, and it makes it a little more fun. So I would recommend, if you have any like women's moms consignment sales coming up, to sign up for them. It made decluttering so much easier because it had like this little fun dopamine kick to it, where while I was going around I was thinking like, ooh, how much am I gonna price this for? Ooh, I wonder how much money I will make. And it was like something exciting rather than just decluttering. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing it. So if you have some clothes that you want to declutter, kids clothes, women's clothes, decor, look into signing up for a consignment sale because I feel like that might be a fun way to help you get started. Multiple days later, and I actually have to drop these off today, so I have to kind of hurry. So I got all of the tags printed off at Staples on cardstock. That's like what you have to do, and I used their little cutter to cut all them. And then I got some safety pins off Amazon, and now I need to go through and find each piece of clothing. Like this is a Cat and Jack dark gray shirt with colorful baseball, and like pin it to the shirt and then also put them on hangers. So So if you're wondering like what I priced everything out, I definitely priced everything to sell because I was going to donate it anyways. And it's like, I know when I go to these consignment sales, if I find like a Nike or an Under Armour shirt for like $5, I'm like, oh my god, I get so excited. And you know, it's just nice. But I was going to donate them anyways. I might as well price them really good. So just an example, like this like cute Under Armour shirt, I think I priced it at $5. I have this one I priced at $5, which is like an Under Armour long sleeve. I have everything that isn't like a brand like that I priced at like $4 because I'm like, you know. Okay guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that, I don't know, you took something away from today, whether it be some of the tips or maybe just some entertainment for the time being or some encouragement. Now, if you need some more decluttering motivation, guys, I have so much. I'll link my favorites down below. I will say some of the earlier ones are probably my favorite because that was a little bit more of a hot mess and there was a lot going on in the beginning of my decluttering journey. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for being here. I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already. It is completely free. All it does is make it so my videos show up in your subscription box. If you want to be notified whenever I post a video, you do have to press the bell next to it. And I know, personally, I am someone, I always forget to subscribe to people's YouTube channels. I always just watch whatever's on my recommended. But I would love if you just wanted to hit that button and subscribe. You won't miss out on any future videos. Leave a comment if you made it all the way till the end. And I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.